Welcome to this week's Country of the Week. This week we are visiting one of the largest and the most famous countries in the world, the United States of America. So let's start our video with some fast facts. Fact number 1, the USA is in North America. Fact number 2, the USA is made up of 50 states. 48 of those states are all next to each other in the main US landmass. Alaska is separated from the rest of the country by Canada, and Hawaii is a series of islands in the Pacific Ocean. Fact number 3, the official language of the United States is English, although there are some Native American languages that also come from the United States. Fact number 4, the capital city of the United States of America is called Washington, D.C., not to be confused with the state that's also called Washington. And fact number 5, the flag of the United States is known for its stars and its stripes. Okay, I bet some of you already know some things about the United States. Let's see if we can discover anywhere new when we go on tour. Okay, we're going to start our tour in the capital city in Washington, D.C. Washington is home to the White House, this famous building where the President of the United States lives. Did you know the White House has 35 different bathrooms? Washington is also famous for having lots of different memorials, including the Lincoln Memorial, which is named after a famous president, and the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial, which is named after the activist who fought for equal rights for black and white people in America. Okay, our next stop is probably one of the most famous cities in the whole world, New York City. New York is famous for its museums, its iconic skyscrapers, its theatres, its shops, and the Statue of Liberty, which is a huge statue that stands on an island just off the coast of the city and stands for freedom. The northeasterly tip of the USA is called New England, and it is made up of 6 states. This part of the country is particularly renowned for its Atlantic coastline, the beautiful colours of the leaves in autumn. Our next stop is in the centre north of America, right on the border with Canada. Here we'll find the 5 Great Lakes. They are Lake Huron, Lake Erie, Lake Michigan, Lake Superior, and Lake Ontario. These 5 lakes are so big that combined the surface area of their water is 244,106 square kilometres. That is a surface area greater than the United Kingdom. A little further west and we reach Mount Rushmore. This unique mountain contains a memorial to 4 previous presidents of the USA: Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and Theodore Roosevelt. Can you see them in the mountain? That's right. In 1927, their faces were carved 18 metres tall into the side of this mountain. Just imagine if they can see themselves now. The Midwest of America is home to some of the most impressive geography in the whole world. I could go on all day just about this part of the country. Don't worry, I won't. I'll just pick my favourite part of the region. It's called Yosemite National Park. Now this is 3,080 square kilometres of mountains, valleys, rivers and waterfalls. The most impressive and famous spot in Yosemite is perhaps El Capitan, a huge domed rock popular with climbers. It's 2,037 metres high. Just imagine climbing up that. Our next stop is on the Pacific coast of California and the awesome city of San Francisco. This city is one of the most popular places to live and to visit in America. It's famous for its iconic Golden Gate Bridge, its steep hilly streets and cable cars, and the prison Alcatraz, which sits on an island just off the coast and is famous for having never been successfully broken out of. I'm not sure I'd like to be stuck in there. As we near the end of our tour of the USA, we've just got 2 more places to visit. The first is the city of New Orleans. This historic city is in the deep south of the USA, and it's famous for its incredible music and festivals. The most famous is perhaps the Mardi Gras, which is a colourful celebration of life and music that takes place every spring in this beautiful city. Our final stop is the Florida city of Orlando. This is another very popular place for tourists in America because it is home to at least 12 theme parks. The most famous of which are probably the huge Walt Disney World or Universal Studios, although you can also visit SeaWorld, Legoland or Discovery Cove, amongst many others. What a place to visit! Whoa, that was such a long tour. I guess that's what happens when you visit the third largest country in the whole world. What did you learn? Did I miss anywhere? Do you know of any other places in America? Maybe you visited, or you've seen the country on a film or TV. Let us know on Twitter, Instagram, or in the comments. And whilst you're thinking, we'll hand over to Mr. Sawyer, who's going to tell us about a famous American. Who on earth is he going to choose?
It's a sad fact that racism plays a huge part in the history of the United States of America, and I wish I had more time to go into this, but it's extremely complicated. But what you need to know for this video is that the southern states of the United States used to live under what were called the Jim Crow laws. The saying was that people of different coloured skins were to be kept separate, but equal. Now, the equal part of that never really happened. People with black skin were often treated horrendously. It was difficult for them to get the right to vote and to get well-paying jobs, for example. But the separate part, that happened, unfortunately. Separate schools, separate areas of restaurants, separate toilets, and separate seats on the bus. And that's what brings me to today's story about Rosa Parks. On the 1st of December 1955, Rosa Parks got on a bus in Alabama. Now, she was a black woman, and white people and black people had separate seats on the bus, and she was sitting in an area reserved for white people at the front of the bus. Now, it's an extremely busy day, and the bus was filling up fast, and a white man got on and couldn't find a seat. The driver demanded that black people get up and move to the back of the bus, but Rosa refused, quite rightly. And for this, she was arrested and given a huge fine. But as she thought it was unfair, she refused to pay that fine. And this led to huge protests in support of her from black and white people alike. And they refused to take the bus until these laws were changed, and that is exactly what happened. And Rosa Parks became a hero for what is known as the Civil Rights Movement, the struggle for equal rights for people of all colours. And in 1996 she was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom for her heroic, inspirational act.
Wow, I'm really enjoying this week's Country of the Week. It's really good so far. Right, now let's have 5 fun facts all about the USA. 100 acres of pizza in the US is eaten every single day, and that's the same size of about 50 football pitches. So if you put it all together, it would take up an awful lot of space. And no wonder pizza is America's favourite fast food. I mean, who doesn't love pizza? Well, I'm sure someone doesn't like pizza, but oh well. The flag of the USA was designed by a secondary school pupil back in 1958 by a man called Robert G. Heft. And guess what? He only scored a B- for his project. And his teacher promised him that if the United States government accepted his flag, then he might give him a higher score for his project. That's nice of him. I bet Robert's teacher didn't expect that his flag would be one of the most recognised in all of the world. The United States invented the internet. They really did. Back in the 1960s, a company called ARPANET created the foundations for the internet as we know it today. Don't get this company mixed up with a famous professor from England called Tim Berners-Lee. He created the World Wide Web, and that is part of the internet, just so you know. The company ARPANET stands for the Advanced Research Projects Agency Network. I bet you're really impressed that I can remember all of that. Oh, it was on my phone underneath. The iconic Statue of Liberty was actually a present from France to the USA back in 1886. And it is an absolute huge statue. Imagine how much wrapping paper you would need for that. But the USA, 3 years later, then decided to give a smaller Statue of Liberty back to France as another gift. That's like just giving a gift to someone else. The Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco is one of the most beautiful and most recognised landmarks in the world. But did you know that it's constantly being painted every single day? And that's because it's so big that by the time all the work is finished, they have to start right back at the beginning again. I wonder if you could ask for a day off. So there you have it. There are your 5 fun facts all about the USA. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I will see you in next week's Country of the Week.
Right, everyone, sadly that is it for another week. But we hope you've learnt a lot. There is a Kahoot quiz to do in the description below, and you can communicate with us on our Twitter accounts. You've got Mrs. Osborne Breer's Twitter account, my Twitter account, and Mr. Power's Twitter account. So check them out, get in touch with us, tell us how you did, tell us what you've learnt, and we will see you next week. Bye.